and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another night of On the Pole Racing here, as we have here with us the Regal Wrapz and Designs GT3 Road Series here this time of night on this Monday evening. Hopefully everybody's enjoying what they've seen so far here on the pole here on Flicker Farm TV. As we head down here looking at them all through, we're going to go ahead and go trackside as qualifying is underway. They're working here off up. You can see we're about a minute and a half, just shy of a minute and a half in the qualifying. Oh no, already getting bumped around there is the 75 there of Jamie MacArthur. Well, it's interesting to see these cars kind of fix themselves through the iRacing. We see Joseph Spillman there in the 50. Spillman kind of has had ups and downs here through the season, both on road course and on the oval. Now they stretch through here, heading off the corner, heading there, off of the back bus stop. There's Tommy Pulte in number 96. Austin Hahn in the 15. Driving a Corvette. We got Spillman in a Corvette. Patrick Warwick's out front there. First one off here during qualifying. Move that out of the way so you can kind of see down there on the bottom. And it looks like Mark Nelson setting quick time at the moment. And you can see most of his bars are pink. And he heads on down through that final chicane across the start-finish line, heading down here into corner number 1. He does. He lays down a 1:17.053 for a quick time so far as he gets into the outside wall there. Not sure if that'll hurt him on his lap time or not, as you want to try to stay as clean as possible. Not hit anything, not even brushing anything. And you see Austin Hahn there with a 1:18.805. Got Warwick's with a 1:18.963. Tommy Pulte with a 1:19.496. Matsko coming on his outlap. Robert Milbrath back here. And in number 45, you see a few drivers there in front of him. There you see Travis Roberto out there. Jamie MacArthur out as well. Spillman there in that number 50. You got McKinney now riding there with a 1:17.697. And we're watching there Pulte having some issues and ends up sideways up into the outside wall. We've got the 45 there of Robert Milbrath, sorry. Now we're now back with Works as he works down through into that bus stop on the backstretch. There you see Austin Hahn coming there through off of turn 3 and 4 of the NASCAR circuit down here through the final chicane. There's your pole seater at the moment, the 86 of Mark Nelson. He works down through here in that Porsche. They work off the corner, heading back down here into the next corner. Working on through that infield circuit. There you see Austin Hahn coming there off of the infield circuit. Or working through the infield circuit, rather. Brian Peters as well. They come through the final corners. We're heading off, and Austin Hahn getting a little sideways there. Or not Austin Hahn. Who the heck was it? Oh, man, I'm getting them all scooped up now. That was the 5, Brian Peters, getting loose and spinning out. Travis Berto there in the 777. All right, Randy McCaney there off track. Chase Matsko there in the 4. Austin Hahn there in the 5. Jamie MacArthur in the 6. In 6, rather. Some drivers really trying to put some time forward, and Nelson now lays down a quicker lap with a 1:16.738. Laying down a heater here for Mark Nelson. He works here through, well, halfway through the qualifying session, ends up getting it loose. You don't want to drift it here, Nelson. You want to try to keep that car on the racetrack, but not drift it to where you end up facing the wrong direction. Here comes Austin Hahn here onto the infield circuit. They got a left-hand turn, now coming up here to making a couple right-hand turns. He works through that handle of the infield circuit. Down here off of corner number, coming into corner number, what is that? Here comes Nelson in the 6. And corner number 7. They're coming in through the exit there of the Roval. You work through NASCAR 1 and 2, back down here into the back chicane. Or bus stop, as some would call it. There you see Spillman out there. Works in that number 87. Drivers having a struggle here trying to get there on the time, on the lap times. Travis Alberto doing not a bad job there in the 777, sitting there with his Porsche in second place. So far, I'm noticing the Porsches are really hanging here as he's got Nelson right behind him now. This could get interesting to see how those two can battle it out through the course. As Nelson's trying to find a way to get up there and battle with Nelson here. Or I'm sorry, Nelson's trying to get up here to battle Nelson. Nelson is trying to get up here to battle Roberto. There we go. Now I got it. Chase Matsko there in 4th. Austin Hahn there 5th. Jamie MacArthur in 6th. Patrick Warwick back here in 7th. Tommy Pulte there in 8th. Ryan Peters there in 9th. Joseph Spillman there in 10th. Berto, second place driver at the moment here during qualifying. Chase Matsko back there in third with 1:17.630 for his quick lap. McCaney in the pits. Austin Hahn back here in about fifth with a 1:17.753. And we got about 30 seconds of qualifying left to go. And looks like Patrick Warwick's ended up getting into the outside wall there. Yeah, he worked there off of that corner. Tommy Pulte back here, about 8th fastest right now in qualifying. And you got Jamie MacArthur there in the 6th spot. Patrick Warwick's there in 7th. Tommy Pulte, Joseph Spillman. Mark Nelson, your fastest driver out on track right now. Qualifying is over as we get ready to set for the night race here tonight. Hopefully everybody's enjoying everything here on Fleeger Farm TV on the pole here tonight. As right before this race, if you were in for that one, that was us taking on Daytona in the at the Super Speedway for the Roughneck Racing James Wagner Welding Super Speedway Series. Tonight we got the GT3s with the Freedom Motorsports Alliance Racing League. Coming down here into the next corner, up through the bus stop there, or sorry, the final chicane. All right, getting ready for the start of the race. Let's get this tuned in. So we can hear what the heck going on the racetrack. Okay. There we go. 5 minutes of warm-up. Last chance for these drivers to get a feel for the track before they take it on in the race for 45 minutes of all racing. And in that 45 minutes, about halfway, they got to make a pit stop. So they don't have enough fuel to make it to the end, so that you'll see them stop about halfway for some fuel. Some of them may be taking tires. If you're filling up the car, might as well take some tires. Oh man, Tommy, that's not how you want to hit that curb. Patrick Warwick's back there in the 87, the fastest one here, or out in front right now with the warm-up. See who the fastest one can roll out here. Billman just still trying to get a feel for the track, trying to get things underway. Austin Hahn back here. He works through that final chicane down here in the corner number 1 now. Going in through the infield Roval. here off the corner. Back down here, heading towards the exit of the Roval. There's Austin Hunt. Working our way to halfway through. There we go, coming down here into the corner. Through that last bus stop down there on the back stretch. Now you're looking here at Patrick Works as he comes here off the corner. Down here through into corner number 1. You can really hear them shifting them synchronized transmissions up and down here as they work around the oval. Austin Hunt laying down a 1:17.293. Hunt ends up getting there into the wall, coming there off of the front stretch. Just trying to get a final feel of the racetrack. Now you see Spillman there working through turns 1 and 2 of the NASCAR circuit as he works back out here onto the backstretch. Heading towards that bus stop. Works comes into pit road. Got about a minute and a half left of warm-up, so drivers, if you're listening, get ready. Race is soon to be ready to go. Now we come down that backstretch watching that number 15 of Austin Hunt come into the bus stop. Heading back around out of turn 3 and 4. Here comes the 50 of Joseph Spillman heading out into that final chicane. They work back out there across the stripe. There you see Austin Hunt working through the final turns 3 and 4 of the NASCAR circuit, heading back over to that final chicane himself. As the 50 there of Spillman jumps down there into corner number 1. And in through 2. As you see, MacArthur going to slyly work out onto the racetrack, but I don't think he's going to catch up to get a lap in. He's got about 40 seconds before this session is up. I work here off the corner, back around here, down on the bottom there. You got MacArthur trying to get the last final touches that he can on the race course before warm-up is up. And we got about 20 seconds left in warm-up as the drivers come through off up the final corner of the Roval, heading here into the NASCAR circuit now as they head back through off of 2, heading back here onto the back stretch and into the bus stop here on that back straightaway. 2, 1, time is up for warm-up. Drivers work here through the bus stop trying to get a final feel of what it's like to go through there. As there you see everybody. Now, here we go. Starting grid. Oh, and that date is wrong. My bad. And, yep, there we go. So, we got starting out in front, that's Mark Nelson with Travis Alberto in second. Chase Matsko starting tonight in third with Randy McCaney down there in fourth. Austin Hunt rolling off in fifth with Jamie MacArthur in sixth. Patrick Works in seventh. Tommy Pulte there in eighth. Brian Peters in ninth. Joseph Spillman there in 10th. Robert Bilbrad tonight in 11th. In 12th is Jay Davis in 13th tonight. That's going to be Michael Lemens. And we're missing a driver here tonight, too. Hopefully everything's okay with him. That is Ignacio, I believe, if I'm saying it right. Yeah, Ignacio. I'm not sure where he is tonight, but hopefully everything's all right. And now we work here off the back corner. Chase Matsko here in third. Randy McCaney there fourth. Austin Hunt there in fifth. And now they're working down here through. Where is our track map? Lights are getting ready to go on. Green flags in the air. They come through that final gate. And oh no, already we got one down and around. That's Austin Hunt in that number 15. Spinning the tires there on the start. Ends up falling back here now as they work here through turn number 1 and down here through 2. Chase Matsko there in about 4th position, already losing a spot there coming through the first part of the racetrack. Down here through off of 3 and into 4, and then work here towards the exit of the road, inner oval. Down here, you see Jamie MacArthur there. He's working there in about 4th as they work down here through the exit of the infield circuit, down here through off of turn number 1 of the NASCAR circuit now, as they head on down back through onto the backstretch, heading towards that bus stop. And the 45 of Robert Bilbrass crashed. He had issues exiting the Roval. Jimmy Davis and Michael Ament didn't take the grid and are out, or showing out anyway at this point in time. Mark Nelson out front. He was the quickest there in qualifying. Showing down some laps right now as they work on down through here off the back stretch. And through the final corners here in the final chicane. There you're seeing Travis Roberto. He worked down here in the corner number 1, heading into the inner oval of the racetrack. Like we said, 45 minutes for the race here tonight. Now everybody now works down here off of turn number 3 and into 4, down through that little short chute, heading into 5. They work down here in the corner number 6 and 7. 7 being the left-hander right here. Now they head on back out onto the NASCAR circuit there. Now they come exiting. Now we watch here to see what all can go on. With Roberto there in 2nd, Randy McCaney there in 3rd. Jamie MacArthur out here in 4th at the moment, with Chase Matsko has fallen back now to 5th, and that McLaren made it up like the Penguin LeBeau Dr. Pepper machine here tonight. Tommy Pulte sitting there in the 6th position. Had some issues there through a few spots. Joseph Spillman, once again, having a spill here tonight. Hang on to it there, Travis. You don't want to jump the curbs quite that much. Now, we saw Tommy try to do that in practice and warm-up. And kind of took off like a shot coming over top of the curb as they come down here through 1. They're watching there as Tommy Pulte comes on down through. Robert Bilbrass past Joseph Spillman for 10th position. You got Ryan Peters passed for 8th position by Austin Hunt. So Austin Hunt, he's slowly working his way through the field here after that initial spin on the start. So he's got his work cut out for him. As Spillman comes down pit road, as you see, he's got a tire locked up there on the front of that machine. Spillman, we'll take a quick look at it here. What happened to him to lock that front tire up? And you see, coming down there, through off the corner, heading down there, misjudges it. Oh man, what a hit to that outside wall. And then it just doesn't want to turn right whenever you get into that outside wall like that. On the pole instant replay. Here you're seeing Roberto there in 2nd, Randy McCaney in 3rd. There you see the 66 of Chase Matsko. He works there off of turn number 4 of the NASCAR circuit, heading towards that final chicane before heading across that start-finish line. Down here across the stripe, down here in the corner number 1 to go. Sitting 5th is Chase Matsko. There in front of him is Jamie MacArthur. That's Spillman having issues. Looks like he's trying to get out of the way of some of these drivers. Trying to work back out on track. Just in a bad spot to try to... It's real tough sometimes to bring those cars back out on track, especially when you're in tight quarters, as such as in that infield circuit. Chase Matsko and Tommy Pulte, if I looked right, having issues. No, Chase Matsko and Jamie MacArthur. These two collide. Yeah, they do. They come there off the corner, collision. Both stop, have to try to get it back going. Tommy Pulte, though, doing a great job of getting around them. Now they work here off the first corner down here into the infield circuit they go. Mark Nelson up here in front with Roberto there second. Randy McCaney back here third. Tommy Pulte there in fourth. Jamie MacArthur fifth. Chase Matsko there sixth. Austin Hunt sitting back here in seventh. Ryan Peters in eighth. With Patrick Forex back here in ninth. Robert Milbrath back here in 10th. Jamie Davidson 12th. And Michael Laments in 13th. Not taking the grid. There we go. Coming off the corner. Randy McCaney now down here through off of the corner, heading into corner number 1 of the NASCAR circuit. That is coming off of 2, heading down that backstretch. There you see Tommy Pulte getting spread out now, as everybody's lap times are a little different. We're only about 6.5 minutes in, but you can kind of see the separation these drivers get. Now they work on down the backstretch here, heading towards that chicane, or bus stop. Real tough spot on the racetrack. You're carrying so much speed into that bus stop, that chicane bus stop, there on the backstretch. It can be difficult for some drivers to try to keep it under control. And there you see them working there through that final chicane, coming there across the front of the racetrack down here towards corner number 1. Out through the corner, off of there as they head here out of corner number 6, heading towards that final exit of the Roval, heading into NASCAR turn number 1. See McCaney up there against that outside wall. Here we go. Sitting back here in 5th. Is that 75 of Jamie MacArthur. They head down here toward the backstretch, heading towards that chicane bus stop. Down there on the backstretch, like we said, a lot of speed heading down in there. Warwick passing Ryan Peters for 8th position. I see them up here. Warwick's there in that 87. Here comes that 15 of Austin Hunt. Or Austin Hunt be the next one in front of him, but Austin Hunt doing a pretty decent job working his way back up through the field here as he works here through the chicane. Pretty quick here. Now you see their lap times there on the side of your screen. We'll switch that over here to the gap. You can kind of see the gap between all the drivers. Now we're currently looking at Hunt, as Hunt seems to be all over the place, losing a little bit there as he works through the inner oval. Now working here through the center, now off of the oval. Spillman down a lap. Davis and Laments out. Now they did not finish this race here tonight. Rather, did not start this race, rather. So they head on down here off of the Roval, down here into corner number 1. You see that 15 of Austin Hunt really trying to gain up speed now here as they work through off of 1 and 2, heading down that backstretch. As you see there, Ryan Peters having issues. Ended up spinning out there, trying to get up speed as he comes there off of the exit of the Roval. Spillman not far behind him. Now we're looking at Jamie MacArthur here, working through the final chicane. Not far behind him is Chase Matsko. Austin Hunt losing a little bit. As well with everybody, with the likes of Nelson, who is currently out front. That's a gap to the leader. That's why that keeps racing. Nelson is just on fire here tonight. Nobody really contending with him. Travis Roberto in the 9 of Randy McCaney working back here in 2nd and 3rd. They're battling it out to try to see who can take what here tonight as they work here through the bus stop. Through turn 3 and 4 up the NASCAR circuit. We're 10 minutes in. Great racing going on as everybody's doing a great job here tonight as we're currently looking there at Travis Roberto there in 2nd. The number 9 there of Randy McCaney there in behind him. Now we head on down here in the first quarter. McCaney trying to gain on Roberto. Pulte back here in bed. Ryan Peters, Joseph Spillman once again. Jamie MacArthur past Tommy Fulton there for a 4th. They ain't got that. Back there for 9th. Brian Peters being passed by Robert Milbrath to take that 9th position. Milbrath up to 9th. Brian Peters trying to see what's going on here with Peters. Linking a little bit. Coming there in the corner number 1. Working on down through turn number 3 and into 4. There you see Bill Brath. He's also working down through here. Off track there as he works there off of the exit. A little bit of damage to the front of that 45 machine. I work down here at KFC 45, working down there through the NASCAR circuit, heading on to that backstretch. The 87 of Patrick Works. He's heading into the bus stop here on the backstretch. Pretty smooth there as he rolls on out. Here comes Bill Brath. Working a little over a quarter of the way through this race here so far tonight. As they head down here off of the final court, off of the 75. Heading there through the center of the racetrack. At infield circuit. Turn 6 and now turn 7 as they come out of it. Tommy Pulte back here in 5th. Chase Matsko there 6th. Austin Hunt in 7th. Patrick Work there in 8th. Robert Milbrath in 9th. Ryan Peters here in 10th. Everybody doing a great job as they work on down through off of the corners here. Heading around. Ryan Peters back here in 10th. Robert Milbrath there in 9th. Patrick Work back there in 8th. Austin Hunt in 7th. Chase Matsko in 6th. Tommy Pulte there in 5th. Jamie MacArthur in 4th. Brandon McCaney up here in 3rd. Travis Roberto in 2nd. Mark Nelson up there in front. Here they go, off the corner. Heading down here through, and they head on through turn number 2. Here comes McCaney trying to gain, and he does. He'll get that position there for 2nd for his sprint moment. And they now flip-flop it back, but McCaney is there. He's going to try again. And work down here in the corner number 6, or 5 rather, and into 6. Through 7, 8, and up here on to the back through into NASCAR 1. Roberto up there in 2nd. Nelson just kind of put it on cruise control at the moment as he's cruising along here out front. 14 minutes in. As McCaney's trying to battle here with Roberto. Trying to see what other battles we might have going on. Oh no, Milbrath off track again and hard hit to the outside wall there of that corner. That's coming through there off of the corner number 6 here coming back in. The 5 of Peters off track coming there off the exit. And Milbrath really beating the front end of that machine up. Austin Hunt, he's getting back up here. He's in 7th, but he's catching the backs of Chase Matsko. Matsko goes around. heading there into corner number 1. Tommy Pulte up here in pit. Austin Hunt all working his way up. Back up there where he started. He's one spot from it. Chase Matsko had issues and ended up spinning it around there at the front of turn number 1. Once he made it through, it just went sideways on him. Now he's got to try to catch back up there, so he's got some work cut out for him. Milbrath ended up in pit lane, trying to get that car fixed. Ryan Peters passing Robert Milbrath there for 9th position. Now we got Austin Hunt. He's snaking his way through this course. Up here in 6th. Going to try to get back up there a little bit farther if he can. And he works on down here in through the final chicane. I'm trying to keep an eye on the battles, and right now this is the closest battle between Austin Hunt, Tommy Pulte, and Jamin MacArthur. As these 3 drivers work here through turn number 1, down here through 2, heading into the inner infield circuit. Working down here around round 4, heading over here to 5. Now 9 of Randy McCaney's trying once again to get up there and battle Roberto. And Roberto's sitting there in 2nd. On down through here, McCaney. Well, way up there towards the outside wall. Here comes Tommy Pulte and Austin Hunt. Hunt getting to the back of Tommy. Working down here through the backstretch, heading towards that bus stop. Some drivers starting to really get close enough here. As we see the 45 coming off there. Here comes Spillman, working his way up through the track. Chase Matsko in the pits. Milbrath working his way on through. Ryan Peters. Chase Matsko crashed once again. That would be the reason he jumped to the pits. So completely unsure there. We'll take a quick look at it here. Now we'll see him come through. Up off the corner and pushing there. He ends up in the grass a little bit. Skates on. Oh man, what a hit to the wall. Milbrath also having issues. Once again in that 45. There he comes here through the center. Works on down through. And his just skates around here. Now we see Travis Roberto there in 2nd. Right behind him, Randy McCaney. Then you're looking back here between Austin Hunt, who got around Tommy Pulte. So Austin Hunt now setting his sights on MacArthur. What a run here tonight by Austin as he's really putting the pedal down and gaining some spots here. He had the unfortunate start there of spinning it out at the very start of the race. So now Austin Hunt is chasing down the likes of MacArthur as they head down here into the next corner, which is turn number 6. Into 7. Man, what a night for him so far. Struggled there at the start, spinning it around, doing a 360. Now he's out here battling for 5th. Possibly about ready to gain a spot here if he can get up there to MacArthur and make something stick. Ryan Peters on pit road now for his pit stop. With 19 to go. And 9th position, Milbrath once again around. Spillman went and decided to call it out, I believe, as I do not have him on track in the pits or anything. I work here through the final chicane. Up here across the start-finish line, Jamie MacArthur has a mere pull of Austin Hunt. And if we look here as we go on board, you can see they got that dash cam there. So we go to Jamie MacArthur's view. There you see it. Now Austin Hunt is right there. He can see it. And honestly, that mirror or that camera, I don't think does it justice. I think Austin is a little bit closer than what it lays on there. Third gear, rolling through here off of the corner. But out here to the bus stop, and now watch it. Watch these gears strip down. Once again, working through this final chicane. Man. To me, these cars can look like a handful to drive. I don't know about the rest of you out there watching here on FFTv. And these things can be a handful to drive. Or at least they are for me anyway. And part of that is I think I just pushed too hard. Now we see here come McCaney trying to get up there to Roberto. Same with Austin Hunt getting up here and he's getting ahead of Tommy Pulte. And he's all over the back bumper now of MacArthur. Showing some real speed here out of that 15 machine. As 66 there, up Chase Matsko is still on pit road. He's now working towards pit exit. He's driver running around here, coming out of turn number 4. Well, got two potential battles going on here between the 9 and the 777 of Roberto and McCaney. Then you got the 15 of Austin Hunt and MacArthur trying to battle it out. The 87 of Patrick Warwicks is all by lonesome back here on the backstretch. Soon to be lapped down, possibly, as Nelson works off of turn number 2, back out there on the NASCAR circuit, heading toward that back bus stop. Now we're here watching Austin Hunt down here through off of corner number 6 and the 7. And off at the 8 here for the exit. And on that NASCAR circuit around here through Hunt, really trying to stay in the draft of MacArthur. And on rolling down here through the backstretch, out here in the bus stop. Staying glued right there with Milbrack. Similar to the way McCaney is sticking to Roberto. Chase Matsko having issues again. He was running so well, and now it just seems like the bad luck bug has bit that number 66. All right. Coming here through. Got that car fixed up, and then all of a sudden, did he lose it again? I'm confused. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Must have been his stopping back up that caused that to blink like that. Mark Nelson, your leader, way out front here. Roberto is trying to keep McKinney behind him. MacArthur having the same struggle here with Austin Hunt. Tommy Pulte is also back here. Not really too much of a threat at the moment, but he is there just in case somebody in front of him screws up. There is still that chance of him gaining the spot. Here we go. The pass coming here into turn number 1. Austin Hunt goes underneath of MacArthur. Now MacArthur falls back towards Tommy Pulte. Austin Hunt gets around now for him to start trying to put some time down, see if he can get up there into another position. Now McKinney and Roberto are back here battling it out. How long will it take for Hunt to catch up here to these two? Hunt is working down there through off the back stretch. Here you see Jamie MacArthur, Tommy Pulte working there, 5th and 6th through the bus stop. Horrocks back here in 7th. It's so hard to really decide how to close ground here, as with road courses, you've got to know which section you can gain time in, where to push the car, when not to push the car, what braking zone do you hit. There's a lot of technical driving here as we watch Mark Nelson out here in front, out of Pierre, South Dakota. You got Travis Roberto back here out of Woodbury, Minnesota. Randy McKinney, he's back here in 3rd with Austin Hunt. Back here in 4th with Jamie MacArthur in 5th. Ryan Peters having issues once again. And he crashed. And that 15 here tonight is quick. He worked back here off of 2, heading towards that bus stop. Randy McKinney and Roberto still battling it out for that 2nd and 3rd spot. Hunt losing ground on the leader, but so is the drivers in front of him. It's going to be interesting to see if Austin Hunt can catch these drivers as he rolls here. Thinking a little bit. Coming there off of turn number 4. Coming there into 5. Into 6 as they head on down here heading towards the exit of the Roval here at Charlotte. Tommy Pulte. He's having issues as he went off track back here in 6th position. Ended up getting a little bit of damage on that machine. Randy McKinney back here in 3rd. Roberto here in 2nd. And these 2 drivers still battle it out here. Now the 87 of Patrick Works. Going lap down to Mark Nelson. Oh boy, here we go. Air getting tighter. They work here through off the corner number 6, heading into 7, heading towards the exit now. McKinney is there. Tommy Pulte down pit road. Now there's going to be the trick, is who's pitted and who hasn't pitted. And we're coming down to about 15 minutes to go. Tommy Pulte exiting the pits. Warwick's in the pit lane. Matsko still sitting in the pits. Roberto in. Austin Hunt coming out. So this might be where Hunt can go and possibly gain a little bit. He works here through off of the chicane, heading there on back onto the front stretch. More time he spends on track, the less fuel he has to put into the car. Works on his way out. We got Jamie MacArthur coming in. Roberto on his way out. Austin Hunt working here through off of turn number 6, heading into 7. McCaney up here in second now as he's finally got around this 777 of Roberto. Mark Nelson out front. See when these drivers come to pit road as it's hitting that half-hour mark. Here comes Nelson in. McCaney, we'll see if he comes in. I work here off the corner. Here comes McCaney. Yes, McCaney's coming in. McCaney coming in. McCaney. That's Austin Hunt back here in a third. Mark Nelson in the pits. And yes, Austin Hunt's coming in. Now here comes the question. Where does he come out compared to this guy who's working through the backstretch right now? As Travis Roberto, he already made his pit stop. Everybody else had to come in. So did he go and catch the pit stops just right to bring that back around out to the front? Here comes that 9 of Randy McCaney coming off. McCaney now sitting there. Oh no, Nelson is still the leader. He got himself off of pit road. Here comes that of the 9, the 777 back into third. Austin Hunt back here working off of pit road and into the corners of the infield circuit. But Nelson's still way out front here. Slowly coming down. Laps ticking away. Time ticking away. Now we head there off of the exit there. We got Travis Roberto back here at the 777. Austin Hunt, he's trying to make up some more ground here as he works off. We got the 5 of Ryan Peters, a lap down machine right there in front of Austin Hunt. Patrick Works as well. There you see Tony Pulte beat up there on the front of that Porsche. And he works down through. Austin Hunt down here through the bus stop. There you see Travis Roberto. That's who the 15 of Austin Hunt is trying to chase down as he works there off the corner. The 9, the McCaney, getting around him, doing a great job now up here across the stripe. Nelson down here through the corner, off. Into 7 now. And see Austin Hunt there, Jamie MacArthur back here in pit. He works there off of the last final chicane, heading into corner number 1. Ryan Peters back here. Sitting in about 10th position. Everybody's gone and made their pit stop, so everybody's good till the finish, which is going to be in about 10 minutes from now. Now we see Travis Roberto up here in second, getting around McCaney once again. McCaney having an issue or something. McCaney crashed. We'll take a quick look at that. He comes down through there and gets it a little loose. Here on the exit. Spins it right around. There you see Austin Hunt coming around. Getting up there ever so close. Ryan Peters crashed again. front end of that 5 machine. And you got McKinney here in 3rd. Ed MacArthur, Tommy Pulte back here in 6th. He took a ride there through the bus stop there during practice. So he's trying to figure this course out still, I think. We're under 10 minutes to go. Down here off of corner number 2, down here into the backstretch. Here comes Tommy Pulte trying to chase down Jamie MacArthur. Heading there off the corner. Jamie MacArthur here in 5th. Tommy Pulte there in 6th. Patrick Works back here in 7th. And there you see Ryan Peters coming there off of the final chicane. Mark Nelson up here in 2nd. Running as hard as he can, as he knows there's drivers coming behind him. Down here, off of the corner, heading towards the exit, comes Austin Hunt, following down around Randy McKinney. McKinney ended up off the track. Austin Hunt really trying to chase down to try to get up there in the 3rd. Roberto almost has a lock on 2nd. Now we're coming down here. Laps winding down, time winding down. Getting ever so much closer to the end of this race. Looks like we've got about 6 drivers on the lead lap as it stands right now. Last one on lead lap being that of Tommy Pulte. Now he tries to get up there to battle MacArthur for that 5th position. Coming there off of turn number 3 and 4 of the NASCAR circuit, heading over to the final chicane. And I see Nelson coming there out of 2. Big gap back to this gentleman here, Roberto. They work down there off of the corner, heading into the exit. Austin Hunt creeping in ever so closely to that 9 of McKinney. Trying to see if he can get up there and battle it out. After the start he had Jamie MacArthur back here 5th, Tommy Pulte back here in 6th. 38 minutes of the 45-minute race complete. Now they roll here off the corner down into the backstretch. There across off of corner. Ryan Peters back here in 8th. Jamie MacArthur back here in 5th. Everybody tries rolling on through. See that damage there to the front of that 5 Prime Video machine. I'm trying to see if the gap is lessening between McKinney and Hunt. You see McKinney there. Here comes Hunt down here into the bus stop. Or no, final chicane, sorry. These three drivers pretty well matched here. As McKinney's getting back up there to battle Roberto again. I think they both know time's winding down. You got less than 5 minutes to go. And Hunt back here just waiting for his chance to strike. Like I said, he had issues there at the beginning. Now he's up here trying to battle up here to try to chase these gentlemen down. Up there in second and third. Here you see Jamie MacArthur back here in fifth. Tommy Pulte there in sixth. Patrick Works in seventh. So Hunt slowly losing time still to Nelson, but gaining on those in front of him. And McKinney is once again back at the bumper of Roberto. They head there through 3 and 4 of the NASCAR circuit, heading into the final chicane here on the front stretch. I'm just slowly lurking back here, waiting for his chance to strike if he can. Probably really kicking himself after that mishap there at the start. And he lost a lot of ground to these gentlemen up here in front. Slowly gaining it. And if I'm looking here, let's see. Best lap tonight is by our leader, Mark Nelson, has a 1:16.91. The next fastest is that of Travis Roberto with a 1:17.03. Then you got Randy McKinney there with a 1:17.21. Then you got 1:17.32 for Austin Hunt. So, I mean, those three drivers really, really close here. Just a few milliseconds there apart. And actually come down to one bad quarter. And right now, Travis Roberto's running a 1:18 for his last lap. Out of those three drivers, Austin Hunt is still the quickest by a little bit here towards the end of this run. Still Nelson, still your fastest out on track though. And work through there. Austin Hunt was a few seconds slower now. It's real tough here. Real tough racing here through these guys. They come here off of turn number 4 down here into 5. Now we see that 86 going into the bus stop back here on the backstretch. What a night for Nelson. Come out last week to win. Won the Cup Series Wednesday night. Now he's coming out here and showing that he's got what it takes to win here at Charlotte Roval. He's got quite the gap here, about 26 seconds plus. These two drivers might get worried here. Austin Hunt is depending on the lap. He can be a little quicker than that. But then he kind of loses it on other laps. So it's going to be a tight battle here to the end as we're coming here possibly 2 laps to go. Nelson is on the backstretch. Or no, Nelson's coming through the exit, sorry. Wrong car. I'm looking at the number 87, and that's Patrick Works coming here off the corner. Ryan Peters definitely having issues tonight. He has the front end of that machine beat up, and we see I got a marker saying that he crashed once again. These drivers really battling out here from second and third. Who's it going to be? They roll here off the exit. You can see on your track map just how close some of these are. Now you got the 96 and the 75 now working together up here. They're coming here to the final lap. Coming here through the chicane. Last lap. This is it. Mark Nelson out front. Travis Roberto and Randy McKinney. Got to try to figure out who's going to finish where. as they come here off of the bus stop, heading around through turns 3 and 4. As the last lap is in the air for these drivers. As they're heading off. Down here into the final chicane. Travis Roberto there in second, McKinney there third. White flag in the air. So those drivers now on their last lap as Austin Hunt now comes across. Down here into the corner number 1. Now, 86 now back onto the NASCAR circuit after working his way through the inner field circuit. Roberto here in second, McKinney here in third, Austin Hunt back here in fourth. Now, they are really battling it out hard for this second and third spot at the moment as they work here off the exit themselves. Back out onto the NASCAR circuit, heading towards the bus stop now as they work through turns 1 and 2 of the NASCAR circuit and back out onto that back straightaway. Checkered flag is in the air as Nelson comes here across through the final chicane. He will take the checkered flag here tonight as Travis Roberto and McKinney work through the bus stop on the backstretch. Austin Hunt also right there. They work back out onto the main track. And most likely going to be Roberto there in second, McKinney third. And they work down here into the final chicane. Checkered flag. All these drivers here. Great race here tonight. What a drive there by Austin Hunt to go from spin to fourth. As we got him still coming off of turn number 4 here. You got the 87 there. Patrick Works coming through the final chicane to capture his checkered flag. And you got Brian Peters who still has to come around here. But in front of him is that of the 96, the 75 and 96 there, Jamie MacArthur and Tommy Pulte. Now Ryan Peters comes through the final chicane. What a night here for Mark Nelson as he brings it back around to the front straightaway. Finishing order here tonight is Mark Nelson finishing first. Travis Roberto then second. Randy McKinney there in third. Austin Hunt there in fourth. Jamie MacArthur there in fifth. Tommy Pulte there in sixth. Patrick Works back there in seventh. Ryan Peters eighth. Chase Matsko having some issues tonight. Finishes tonight ninth. Roberto Milbrath back there in 10th. Joseph Spillman there in 11th. J.R. Davis back there in 12th. Michael Laments back there in 13th. That is your finishing order here tonight. Now let's go ahead and see if we can get with some of our pole sitter, our people up here. Let's see. We have Randy McKinney finishing in third. McKinney. Come on, you. Do what I want you to. Good evening there, Randy. How's it going?
Good. How about you, Adam?
Oh, it's going well. Going well. Were you nervous about that 15 coming back up through, or did you have a feeling you had enough on him?
No, I was scared. I was running as hard as I could. He had a hell of a recovery.
I mean, he spun out there at the start and ended up working his way back up to fourth. I was wondering how nervous you felt there in third.
Oh, I was pushing. I was trying to push Travis just after we finished. I think 2 more laps, he probably would have caught us.
He was coming in a hurry, that's for sure.
Yeah, Austin had a hell of a run.
So, but you had a good run tonight yourself, getting up there in the third position. Kind of take us through. How tricky is Charlotte Roval here for these GT3 cars?
It's not so much tricky, but it is so hard to pass. I had a couple runs on Travis. I almost took him out once because I missed my braking point. It's just, I don't know if that Porsche just coming off the corners, I couldn't gain anything on him, so we were pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, it seemed like if you knew how to run that Porsche definitely had something to prove tonight.
Oh, absolutely. He was flying. Great job by him.
So, are there sponsors or shout-outs you want to give here tonight for helping you get up there into the podium position?
No, I think Chase Matsko, he's been hosting practices almost every night. So thanks to him, just getting laps put in. Everybody that's running the league right now, you for taking over, Chase for kind of being kind of the guy that sets up all these practices. All the guys that come out and practice, it's just been a lot of fun this season.
Well, definitely. And we like to see the drivers grow. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here, trying to get drivers feel comfortable around each other, trying to get them to better themselves in the racing, trying to better their racecraft as a car.
Absolutely, and even the slower guys that came in tonight, just trying it out. It's great to have them out on track, and if we can get them into practice, get them a little bit more speed, get them more comfortable, it's just going to make everything better.
Well, I know I'd be one of them slower guys out on track because road course is just not it for me. I'm still learning where to push, where not to push, where the braking points are. It can get very technical very fast.
Absolutely, but the guys in here, they're mostly doing it for fun. Everybody's willing to help each other, so it's actually a great environment. So I encourage anybody that likes road racing or just even wants to try it. Come on out. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, even though I'm slow, I still have a blast.
Absolutely, it's a fun way to spend a Monday night.
It sure is. So, but congrats again on that third place finish, and hopefully we'll see how it goes here.
Absolutely. Thanks for getting the broadcast in tonight, and thanks for everything you're doing. Try growing this league. I know it's a struggle. You kind of slog through it, but we'll get there.
We definitely will. So, I mean, there's a great team of admins here that are trying to do everything they can to help better it, help keep getting better here at FMA.
Absolutely.
You have yourself a great night and enjoy that third place.
Thank you, Adam. You enjoy the rest of your night as well.
All right, that is Randy McCanney there in third place. We'll see if we can get with Travis here. I don't see Travis. Since I don't see Travis, we'll go with Mark Nelson. Good evening, Mark. Are you trying to make this a habit?
Well, yes and no. Nobody wants to see the same guy win every single week, so I got to be careful about that. This is a really good track for me. I've run a lot of laps here in several different cars, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. There was a few close calls, one in particular where the car tried slamming into the wall and murdering me, but I managed to save it enough where I didn't have to pit.
Well, you definitely were the fastest out there on track, and definitely, lap in and lap out. We're putting down quite the lap times.
Yeah, I was just being consistent. I think I ran 1:17s the entire race. Like, there was maybe a handful of laps, if that I was bigger lap time. So just consistency and hitting your marks and making sure that if you feel the car starting to slide, you don't let it slide.
Yeah, there was a couple laps there that you were under 117.
Yeah, that's what I was going for the whole time, but I had to prioritize surviving, so I had to kind of back it down a little bit to not get too greedy.
Well, you definitely looked awesome out there. This makes 3 wins in a row, counting the Cup Series. Mm-hmm. And we know you run here Monday nights and Wednesday nights. We're heading to Martinsville in the Cups this week. Do you think that's going to end your streak?
I love the track. It's probably my favorite short track, and I feel that I am pretty good there. The only problem is that there's going to be other people behind me and beside me, and there will be cautions and pit strategy, so yeah, I don't know. I might end up in a big fiery pile in the corner, or I might win. I don't know.
It's hard to say, But you definitely had a great job here tonight. That 86 is definitely getting some airtime here. bringing home these wins. Who's your sponsors and shout-outs you want to give here tonight?
Yeah, thanks to everyone that supports you, supports me. Thanks to my wife for her support, and a little extra shout out this week. So The Last of Us is what I have decaled on my car here, and for anybody that is listening and is not aware of the story and the series, it's started out as a video game and turned into a TV show, and the 2020 remaster is coming out on PC on Thursday. So highly recommend everyone go out to Steam and get part 1 and part 2 and play them. You'll thank me later.
So what is The Last of Us? What exactly is that?
Yeah, it's an action-adventure game. It's based in a apocalypse world, basically 20 years into the future. So in 2013, that would have made it 2033. And I don't want to give away too much, but it's basically a love story between two people that start out kind of a journey across the United States, really not liking each other, respecting each other, and in the end they become family. And then the part 2 is kind of a continuation of that. So it's a very
That's pretty cool.
emotional game, and it's unlike
It's got a
anything
great
else that I've ever
storyline to it.
experienced. Yeah, it's unlike any story that I've ever experienced on books, movies, shows. So go check it out.
Alrighty, well, congrats again on the victory tonight, and we'll see if anybody's got any competition going forward. As we said, we hit Martinsville at the Cup Series this week, and then next week for the GT3s, we are going to Road Atlanta. How do you feel about that?
Fun. I feel pretty good. I've done a few Petite de Le Mans there, or yeah, I think that's right, in the endurance races. So I've put a few hundred laps in that place before. So I won't have any excuses for being slow, that's for sure.
Alrighty. Well, congrats again on the victory.
Thank you.
All right, that'll about wrap it up here tonight. So thank you everybody for watching. As we go and send off, thank you all for enjoying the Fleeger Farm TV broadcasting here tonight.